I'm going to just give you a glimpse what is there in Prabhupada books, because Prabhupada books are special to all of us, and how Prabhupada books are special. In the evening, I'll be going in details in this seminar. I'm going to present a seminar in the evening. Srila Prabhupada books, simple yet deep. And I'm going to give a glimpse to you, show you how Prabhupada books are important and how to read those books and how to enter the depth of Srila Prabhupada's realizations. So that's why I chose these 4 verses, because Prabhupada's commentaries and translations are excellent on these verses. All verses, but this verse I personally like. So this 10, 8, 9, 10th, 11th verse. I think we can chant the first verse and then we can continue. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Mattah sarvam pravartate. Mattah sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante mam. Iti matva bhajante mam. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Translation as follows. I am the source of all spiritual and material words. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Now this is simple translation. There's nothing, it doesn't seem so special. Of course it's special because it's talking about Krishna. But there's nothing, it seems, okay, Krishna is the source of everything and we have to worship him. But if you read Prabhupada's word-to-word meaning for this verse and the explanations of the word-to-word meaning, then we can understand what Prabhupada wants to convey to us through this verse, what Krishna is telling us. And I'll show you here. Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything emanates from me. And immediately Prabhupada starts the purport with refutation. If you read Prabhupada's purport, you have to keep in mind 2 things. In every purport, he's doing 2 things. He's refuting and he's inspiring devotees. And that's what is all about, preaching all about. Prem prachar pashanda dalan. So, Prabhupada likes to refute, isn't it? Always he's refuting. He's cutting. And Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, a learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya, who knows how to apply these teachings. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries by fools. So, Prabhupada says, if you want to understand Krishna, you have to understand how Krishna wants to tell us. That's Prabhupada writes in introduction. You have to understand Krishna through Krishna or his true representatives. Prabhupada is coming to this point. Not through nonsensical commentaries. Why? Because the commentaries by fools, there's a problem there. Either they are Mayavadis, either they make Krishna light, or Prabhupada mentions in his purports, here in this last line, in comparison to all the authentic commentaries, all others who do not know Krishna properly are fools. And Prabhupada writes that what happens is these foolish people, when they write commentaries, they write Krishna as supreme. They might accept, many people of them. But what they do is, they delete action. They delete service. They accept Krishna but delete service. And Prabhupada is explaining this point very nicely in his purport. When he says, Iti matva bhajante mam. After knowing Krishna, what we have to do? We have to invest all our energy in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada translates bhajante as not just Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada translates it as he invests all his energy in Krishna consciousness. Now this is special insight of Prabhupada. If literally this verse means you have to serve Krishna after knowing Krishna. But Prabhupada says no, you have to invest all your energy in Krishna consciousness. Why he says this? Because in one of the purport of Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, 30th verse, famous verse, Neha Vikramona Ashwasti. No, sorry, Apichet Sudharacharo Bhashte Mamanane Bhav. Prabhupada writes in that verse, devotional service is more or less declaration of war against illusory energy. So if you want to fight energy, you need energy. Isn't it? So if you want to surpass that energy, you need more energy. And that's where Prabhupada writes here, a devotee engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness. That's special insight of Prabhupada. So what do you mean by that? Engaging all energy in Krishna consciousness. There's a discussion where Prabhupada, he's discussing with devotees, and he speaks that to defeat Maya is easy. He says like that. Why? Because Maya is servant of Krishna. She is made servant of Krishna. If you serve Krishna, she will leave you. So a fight is not with Maya. A fight is with demons. Prabhupada writes in that purport. Because Maya will leave us, but demons will not leave us. They are going to leave us. They are going to create problems for innocent people and make them confused. So why we have to invest all our energy? Because Prabhupada is always he is in the mood that this is fight. Krishna conscious movement is not another edition of Hindu religion. It's not like that. It is different. We have to understand. This is a mission, Prabhupada always said. Just like I was mentioning, Prabhupada saw his movement as a mission, as a business. He saw as a business. Once Prabhupada was sitting and there were many disciples sitting, and there was one man, Indian man, who came to attend the lecture. And Prabhupada, this was afternoon, and I think Hamsadhur Prabhu and all these, Maharaj, that time they were sitting. And Prabhupada was asking him, how much money you got? And that man was thinking, what's happening? And then Prabhupada asked the other person, okay, so how much donation you got? Then another devotee, how much donation? Then Prabhupada told, see, I went to a program yesterday and I got 4,000 rupees. So I got more donations than you. I just stayed for 5 minutes, 4,000. How much minutes you stayed in that house and how much money you got? And that man was saying out what's happening. Prabhupada, what is doing? You don't expect saintly person to talk like that. He thought probably Prabhupada and all of them are underworld dons and something is happening there. So then afterwards he asked devotees, what's happening? It's all money business or what? There's no lecture or what? But then devotees explained. Actually, Prabhupada explained. See, the point is, we are doing a business for Krishna. Seriously, if you want to preach, you have to be in the mood of a business. Otherwise, this is not going to happen. We need profit. We need results. Although we are not attached to results, but for Krishna we are attached to results. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he came to Prabhupada, I think in LA this happened. Exactly, I don't know. I don't want to misquote. Tamal Krishna Maharaj met Prabhupada. Prabhupada met him. Prabhupada said, how is your preaching going on? So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was very nice. So Prabhupada told, but where are the results? Prabhupada said, where are the results? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was intelligent. So he already prepared 10 new bhaktas. And all of them came with rose. Prabhupada, they offered rose, dandvat, shaved off. And was okay, good, nice. So you see, it makes a difference. If you perceive Krishna consciousness as a religion, then you know what will happen. You'll sit and eat prasad and sleep. That's good. That's going to happen. But if you see Krishna consciousness as a business, then you can't waste time. You have to be on your tiptoes. Because every businessman, you can help him to get up. Otherwise, you can fall down. Okay, so if you consider Krishna consciousness as a business, then you have a goal. Then you have an aim. I have to increase this business as a businessman. Prabhupada was a businessman. And in fact, Prabhupada's god brother, Gaudiya Math devotees, they always used to condemn Prabhupada. He's a businessman. But they forgot that it was an advantage to him rather than disadvantage. And that's why Prabhupada could manage such a big society in spite of doing all translations. It's difficult, to say, although Prabhupada said you need Brahmanas with a Kshatriya spirit. But it's very difficult because those who are Brahmanas, they are not managers. It's not like that. Practically, if you are scholarly, you can't really go into management. People who are in management, they're not that scholarly. But Prabhupada wanted that. And Prabhupada was a living example of that. Extremely practical, extremely, what can I say? You're pragmatic. Or let me use this word, money-minded. Prabhupada was money-minded. Every penny he used to save. In fact, Prabhupada never used to trust even his disciples. Seriously, in Vrindavan, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, bring the documents from the safe. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj told Prabhupada, Prabhupada said, okay, fine, open this almirah. There's a drawer, there's a key in the drawer. Take that key, open that almirah. And when you open that almirah, there's a drawer, there's a key inside that. Take that key. And then with that key, open the locker. And inside the locker, there's another key. Take that key, open that locker. And then there's my purse. Don't open it, give it to me. You're not supposed to open it. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj was thinking, my God, Prabhupada doesn't trust me or what? Like, Tamal Krishna Maharaj was a right hand, as far as management is concerned. I was thinking, what's happening? But Prabhupada was, he was attached to money for Krishna. He said, no, take my photograph with $1 million where I'm hugging money and print it in the newspaper. So that's what is investing all your energy in Krishna consciousness. And all your energy in Krishna consciousness means you have to be pragmatic. You have to be pragmatic and practical. You have to be result oriented. You have to conduct your activities as business, as a mission. That means all your energy in Krishna consciousness. And in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada writes, investing all energies in Krishna consciousness means planning for Krishna. Actually, interestingly, Prabhupada writes us beautiful. Actually, if you read commentaries of Acharyas, this point is not made there. And that's Prabhupada's in these purports. One thing you have to keep in mind: Prabhupada is giving his own realizations also. You'll not find in other commentaries, or you'll not find there. And even if you read other commentaries of other Acharyas, how Prabhupada is understanding that, it will be different how we understand those commentaries. They're very different. Prabhupada understands from a very practical and a realized platform. So Prabhupada, in the Nectar of Devotion, he writes, Krishna consciousness means planning. In preface, when I first read that, when I joined Krishna consciousness movement, all of us, we come with the idea that we have to meditate, and isn't it? I don't know, it was with me. We learn meditation and something mystic thing, and we'll sit all day long and chant Om, and as soon as I joined, and somebody told me, clean the windows. So, what the hell, They're making me servant or what? Like, I couldn't digest. I don't know what about others, but I couldn't really digest. So, then I read Nectar of Devotion preface, and Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness means planning. So I was thinking, what is this? You have to plan. I mean, so you have to stop your mind. That's what people are saying, stop your thoughts. You have to enter trance, and you have to plan. I mean, planning we are doing in materialistic life. Here we are planning. Krishna says, don't think about future. Na shoshati, na kankshati. But Prabhupada is forcing us to think about future. Think about future, plan. So, investing all energies means we have to plan. What is a long-term plan? How should we contribute this mission? That's important. How should we contribute this center? How should we contribute to devotees? How should we contribute to our own life? Everything has to be chalked out systematically. Prabhupada used to plan. If you see Prabhupada diaries, everything he notes. Interestingly, if you read Prabhupada diaries, he is also recording sunset and sunrise time. That's amazing, no? Many people write diaries, but nobody notes sunset and sunrise. And I think part of the reason behind that, because Prabhupada wanted to know when is Ekadashi, and because in America there is no sun, he didn't have calendars, so probably he was doing that. But he was also noting moon set and moon rise. God knows why. I don't know why. And Prabhupada was noting everything. I met this person, I called this person, and this person I have to call again. Everything he was charting out. ISKCON movement, he made 7 manifestos, 7 points for ISKCON. Yeah, 7 points. And if you read, before writing Introduction to Bhagavad Gita, if you read the original, how Prabhupada made the preface, he wrote points for that. He wrote points in one of his diaries. There's a document where he's writing points. Okay, this is the point which I have to explain. This is the point I have to explain. This is the point. And then he make logical thing and then explains. So this line is so important. All energy in Krishna consciousness. And then, Prabhupada's, this is very interesting. Anybody who invests all energy in Krishna consciousness, Krishna says, Buddha bhav samanvita. Buddha means learned person. And Prabhupada translates it as, now so you have to keep in track what Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. That's how we have to read Prabhupada books. He gives the meaning of Buddha in word-to-word meaning as learned. But translation he explains as something else. He explains, not something else, but gives insight. He says, learned means when you invest all your energy in Krishna consciousness, you will not be fooled by nonsensical commentaries. Or in other words, when you serve Krishna, you will understand that everything about Krishna consciousness is service. If you delete service, it's dead. Prabhupada said in one of his purport, it's like without service, devotee is like a walking dead person. There's no life. There's no life. What do? He becomes learned person and then bhava samanvita. Okay, let me ask you, what do you mean by bhava? What's the translation for bhava?
It's emotion.
Yeah, emotions, yeah.
And samanvita means joined with.
Okay, fine. Literal translation is emotions. If anybody knows Sanskrit, Prabhu knows. So, but Prabhupada doesn't translate bhava as emotions. Interestingly. You know how he translates? He writes in his purport, a Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations of Bhagavad Gita and proceed in Krishna consciousness with determination and firmness. Prabhupada translates bhava as determination and not emotions. Because as soon as you bring the word emotions, you start flying in air. Isn't it? So that's the true sense. Basis of all emotions is determination. What's the point of having emotions without determination? That's sentimentalism. So that's very interesting translation of bhava, which Prabhupada gives. In fact, all commentators, they translate bhava as emotions. But Prabhupada translates as determination and firmness, both words. Whenever we read Prabhupada purports, we have to understand Prabhupada is using every full stop also with a reason. It's not he's just speaking. Prabhupada said that whenever I used to write word-to-word meaning and writing commentaries, Prabhupada sometimes thought 3 days for meaning of a word. Because he knew that his books is going to be for next 10,000 years. And they have to be perfect, no? So Prabhupada says, bhava samanvita. When you invest all energy in Krishna consciousness, you become learned and you become determined and firm. Now the question is, what do you mean by determination? I might say I am determined. And Prabhupada says firm also, because sometimes you have determination but it can be broken, no? If you have so many problems, your determination can be broken. But Prabhupada's determination never broke. That's why I think Leela Amrit, it's written that Prabhupada had iron determination. He had iron determination. That Prabhupada was preaching, and I was telling Prabhupada was not getting any results, but still Prabhupada was preaching. His 30 years he preached, no result in India. America he came, 1 year he preached, absolutely no result. He spoiled his health, he went back to India, he came back, and then movement took off. But he never lost hope. He was determined and firm. Both things are required. So not just determination doesn't help you, because determination can break. But what do you mean by firm determination? That's a question. And that Krishna is explaining in next verse. What do you mean? Because sometimes we can cheat ourselves, no? I am determined. Yes. So how do you know that you're determined? Prabhupada always said Krishna consciousness is scientific movement. It's science. And science means you have to have some results. You have to have some solid results. So how do you know we are determined? Can anybody tell me? Okay, let's do this quiz so that people. How do we know we are determined in Krishna consciousness? Should we bang? I'm determined, and it doesn't happen like that. What are the symptoms of determination?
We're satisfied and happy with our service.
I need objective symptoms, not subjective. Science is objective. Symptoms we can see, that we can feel. So, we need, huh? You don't? Yeah, you don't give up, but you know what? There's a problem with this. You don't give up, because you give up when you land into problems, into situations. No, and unless situation doesn't come, everybody's going on. How to understand? I'm determined now, at this point of time. Something practical answer, some objective thing, huh?
It's continuous.
It's also. Do you feel it's the right answer? You don't yourself feel, no? It's abstract. Yeah. That's okay. What is the objective symptom? See, that's how you have to read Gita. Gita is science. That's special of Krishna and Prabhupada.
If the answer is the next verse.
Yeah, okay, fine. Fine,
Okay,
you got it. So, yeah, answer is the next verse. You got it. Okay, so answer is the next verse. And what's the next verse? Mat chit mat gata prana bodhihanta parasparam kathyantascha mamnityam tushanti cha ramanti cha. 2 symptoms if you're determined. And at Prabhupada mentions in 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 40th verse. Famous verse Prabhupada used to quote, Evam vrata sopriya nama kirtaya jata anuraga truta uccha chittai. So in that purport, not Prabhupada but Prabhupada disciples, they quote Madhvacharya and they quote 2 symptoms of determination. That is Keschit unmadvad bhakta bhaiye linga pradarshika. So Madhvacharya writes there, Prabhupada quotes, that some people dance ecstatically in devotion. That's very nice. But by that you can't judge whether he's determined or not. Because new people can also dance. Keschit antarhasyu, some people are very serious in devotion. But by that also you can't judge. Because some new people are also serious. So how to judge whether you're determined? Mukha prasadat dharyarcha. 2 symptoms of determination. By his words. Mukha prasadat. The prasad of his mukha. We are interested in today's feast also. Today's prasad. But more we are interested in this prasad. No, this is the real prasad. So, Mukha Prasad, the words of a wise man, the words of Srila Prabhupada. It's said in English, no? A fool is not known until unless he speaks. So, and that is why a fool doesn't prefer to speak. Isn't it? They keep quiet. And when they keep quiet, it seems they're scholarly, but well, you have to induce them to speak. And then you can know, whether. So, first is this, by the speech. And the second thing is dharyat. Dharyat means how much time he has spent in Krishna consciousness. Time is a big thing, time factor. 2 things. And that's what Krishna writes here. Same thing. Determination is measured by mat chit mat gata prana. Prabhupada translates it as the hearts and souls are constantly submerged in Krishna. Chitta means heart. And prana means soul. So the first symptom is, if you're determined, your heart and soul is submerged in Krishna consciousness. What do you mean by this? Prabhupada writes that. Is it poetry? Your heart and soul is submerged in Krishna consciousness. Oh, so nice. But no, Prabhupada doesn't do poetry. Yeah, that's what dedication means. This. So what does this mean? Otherwise we go in cycles. That's okay. So heart means emotions, heart means thoughts, and soul means intentions. Soul is free will. That's what we are doing, intention. So Prabhupada is saying you're thinking, feeling, willing. So many times Prabhupada says. And intentions. All of them will be submerged in Krishna consciousness. Submerged means, Prabhupada uses it was submerged. Prabhupada in one of his lectures he says, until unless we are absorbed in Krishna consciousness, we will not be able to continue in devotional service. You have to be absorbed. And absorbed means Prabhupada writes, absorbed means their minds cannot be diverted from lotus feet of Krishna. Prabhupada uses negative statement, not positive. Prabhupada doesn't say their minds are fixed in Krishna. No. Their minds cannot be diverted from Krishna. These are two different propositions. If I say my mind is fixed on Krishna, and if I say my mind cannot be diverted from Krishna, what's the difference between these two? There's a difference. If I say my mind is fixed on Krishna, this means my mind is fixed on Krishna for 2 hours and 23 hours. That's okay. But if I say my mind cannot be diverted from Krishna consciousness, that means 24 hours I'm absorbed. And that's what Prabhupada wanted from us, all of us. Prabhupada said many times, reduce your eating, sleeping, your nonsense activities, engage yourself in Krishna consciousness. How much you can, that's up to you. But spend your time. In Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada says, the only symptom of a pure devotee is avyarth kalatvam. In that, I think Prabhupada used Sanskrit word, no, there?
Yes,
Yeah.
don't waste time.
Don't waste time. Out of 8 symptoms of a person who is at advanced level, the most important symptom is doesn't waste time. Doesn't waste time means his mind is fixed on service. Even the thought of not serving Krishna will disturb him. It's going to disturb him. So that means Matchit Madhagata Prana. Such a beautiful understanding Prabhupada is given. And then next symptom is Bodhyanta Paraspara. He'll be always talking about Krishna. And Prabhupada says interestingly in the last line to this purport, realized souls in Krishna consciousness take continual pleasure in hearing transcendental literatures, just as young boy and girl takes pleasure in association. This is a nice example. America you can understand girlfriend, boyfriends. So that's more applicable. I think that's what Prabhupada is saying, young boys and girls. In India, Prabhupada, if this commentary would have been in India, Prabhupada have written just as how husband and wife take pleasure. America, young boy, young girls. This is so nice. So this is the objective sign of determination. If you're determined, you'll always be speaking about Krishna. Always. And not just speaking, you'll be taking pleasure in speaking about Krishna. Pleasure means spontaneously we'll be all talking about Krishna. Eating, walking, sleeping, talking. And you know what? If you want to talk about Krishna, first you should have something in your mind now. Otherwise, how do you talk about Krishna? Your mind should be full, otherwise you'll be talking trash. So the symptom of determination is you'll always be reading about Krishna and talking. These are 2 symptoms. And discussing Kathyantas Chamam Nityam. Third, talking and preaching. Kathyantas means katha. Katha means preaching. So if we have these 3 symptoms, we are determined. If we don't have these 3 symptoms, we are not determined. No matter how much we feel we are determined, we are not. We have to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness. That means we are not wasting our time. That means we are getting disturbed even at the thought of wasting time. And the second is we should always be speaking about Krishna, philosophy, pastimes, whatever. Or maybe about preaching, or maybe about management. Doesn't matter. Even if you're speaking about management, that's Krishna Katha. And third is you're preaching about Krishna consciousness. All 3 together. If a doctor gives you a prescription and he prescribes you 3 medicines, and if you delete 1 medicine, will you get cured? No. You can't delete any of them. Already Krishna has summarized entire Vedas into Gita And we want to summarize it more. That's a problem. Krishna gives, man edits. We like to edit things, Oh, okay. 2 things are okay. Third thing, preaching is maybe not so practical for me. So I'll do 2 things and that's okay. You can't say no to Krishna. Krishna doesn't like to hear no. First of all, he doesn't like to hear no. He is egoistic. All ego is coming from Krishna, no? But his ego is good. Krishna, Yudhishthira Maharaj told Krishna no, once. He said no. Krishna told speak lie. Yudhishthira told, no, I'm going to speak lie. And for that Yudhishthira had to go to hell. One day, he went to hell for denying Krishna. So we can't say no. If Krishna is saying 3 things, 3 things. You can't say I'm a householder and I can't preach. Last night. So mostly we go to programs and generally householders have this appeal. We are householders, Prabhu, we don't have time. How should we preach? It's India like that. It's many of them. We are so busy. You see, you are free, you don't have to do anything. They don't speak like that, but it means like that.
Tell them to stop taking vacations at Disney World.
Stop taking. So, yeah. Yeah. Seriously, yeah. You're right. But that's an excuse. That's a very common excuse. I think Devmata Prabhu was also telling me also that it happened with you. It's not like that. It's not that we are free. We have nothing to do, that's why we are preaching, It's not like that. We have many things to do. Especially, see, household life is good. Your clothes get washed. For a brahmachari, it's a big problem, washing clothes. Washing clothes. It's a big problem for us, most of the time. Householder, you save time. You don't have to wash clothes. You don't have to clean your room. Your wife can do that for you. So, yeah. So you save time in many things in which we waste time. And you don't have, in household life, you don't have politics. You don't have politics. Yeah, some things with wife. But that politics is okay. But temple politics, you can't tolerate. Yeah, there is a hurdle. Household life is good. That politics is relishable. Okay, Prabhupada says, wife, husband will fight and you need some salt in household life. It gives a taste. Prabhupada was very practical. Prabhupada knew everything from Paramahamsa's life to household life. He knew everything. And so everybody has problems. Everybody is busy. You have to take out time. Where there is will, there is way. So you can't say I can't preach. Everybody can preach. And in fact, most of the Prabhupada's disciples were householders. I mean to say, who went to Europe? 3 families. Mukunda and, I forgot their names. Anyway, these 3 couples. Yeah, Shyama Sundar Prabhu, Gurudas Prabhu. Yeah. And their wives, and Janki, and they preached. They were married people. They were couples. So that's not an excuse. Don't delete, don't try to edit Bhagavad Gita. Already it's edited. It's already an addition, small addition. Don't try to edit it more. Krishna is saying 3 things. There are 3 things. You have to preach. You can't say no to preaching. If you can't preach, help those who are preaching. At least that you can do. That much you can do. And talk about Krishna. And absorb yourself. Don't waste time. Household life generally, or full time also. Full time, you know what, in India we say, full time life means full time space out. It happens, many times it happens like that. You have all the time in your life to waste. If you want to waste, you can waste. If you want to use, you can use. In temple life, it's up to you. So not wasting time, that habit you have to develop. That habit has to be there. Prabhupada used to keep a watch, hand watch. And once his watch got, I think it was not working. And one devotee, I don't know who, but he asked Prabhupada, you give me a watch and we can correct it. And you take my watch. By the time being, I bring your watch back. And Prabhupada's servant, he was saying, no, this is offense, how can you give your watch to Prabhupada? So, but Prabhupada told, no, good idea. Prabhupada told, without watch, I get space out. Prabhupada said, I need a watch. I need everything time to time. So mostly people who are advanced, actually they don't need a watch. They are themselves a watch. Watch, yeah. It's a good habit. Advanced devotees are watch. Many people used to time their watch by seeing Prabhupada. Prabhupada used to do everything at exact time. If Prabhupada is taking a massage, it should be 2 o'clock. For example, I don't know, but it should be this time. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he used to come out of his house to go to his work, people used to come with their watch, and it is 8:10. Because at 8:10, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to come out of his house. He was super timing, absolute discipline. So that's the key. So determination means discipline. Don't waste time. You have to be disciplined, and that's what is mode of goodness you're talking about. That's what. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah. So these 3 things keep in mind. But now the point is. Now the question comes here is. Another point. Krishna says if you do like this, Tushyanti cha, Ramanti cha. If you're determined, you get 2 effects. Tushyanti and Ramanti. Now what do you mean by, what is the meaning of Tushyanti? Literal translation. Jaman Prabhu will know.
What do you say?
Yeah, you will know because you're Sanskrit.
You're satisfied.
You're satisfied, yeah. That's the literal translation. Satisfaction. And Ramanti is enjoyment.
Yeah, take pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure and enjoyment. Interestingly, Prabhupada translates that as totally different thing. Prabhupada says Tushyanti is in preliminary stage of devotional service, devotees relish the transcendental pleasure from service itself. Initial stages, when you are determined in devotional service, you become satisfied in service of Krishna. That is the meaning of Tushyanti. You take pleasure in serving the Lord. Prabhupada translates that like that. So, Prabhupada says, you have to be attached to your service. It's important. Whatever service we are doing, we have to be attached. Suppose if we are doing science, like I do science, I preach to scientists. So, I should be attached to science. Attached to science means I am always in equations. If you are attached, you are thinking about that, no? So, you know what, when I am reading science, like back in Delhi, I am always reading science. So, when devotees come there and stay there with me, and after 2 days they say, Prabhu, what's happening? You're always in science. Where is devotion? What's happening? They are perplexed. But actually, for me, science is devotion. No, I have to think equations in my mind. For a manager, he has to think about money. He is always thinking about money, and that's his devotion. So that is the meaning of attachment to service. Attachment. We have to be attached to service of Krishna. Just like Arjuna, Prabhupada writes in one of his letters. Arjuna was not scholarly. Because most of the time he had to learn archery. He was a Kshatriya. He was spending time in archery. So to one of his devotees, Prabhupada is writing letter. Okay, Arjuna didn't know much Shastras, but he was expert in fighting. And he engaged in his fighting spirit in service of Krishna. He was always thinking of mantras and arrows and enemies. But he got the mercy of Krishna. And not scholars like Drona and all these people who were big scholars. Prabhupada says like that. Prabhupada writes like that. So, attachment means absorption. That's the meaning. So, Tushyanti means you have to be satisfied in service of Lord. And Ramanti means, Srila Prabhupada writes here, Ramanti Prabhupada explains as, in mature stage, devotees are actually situated in love of God. This is Ramanti. Ramanti means taking pleasure in serving Lord. Initial stages you are having satisfaction, and mature stages you are attaining pleasure to serve Lord. Pleasure in chanting, pleasure in discussing about His pastimes, qualities, name, form. This is how Prabhupada translates that, Tushyanti and Ramanti. And in fact, Prabhupada also, he doesn't mention here, but anyway. So now the point is, now the question is, when we keep on doing like this, when we are satisfied in service, when we are taking pleasure about discussing about Krishna, then what will happen? What's going to happen? How Krishna is going to help us from within our heart to attain Him? That Krishna explains in next verse. And Krishna says, what's the next verse? Tesam satyuktanam bhajtam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam apyanti te. And if you read this purport, you're going to faint. 100%. Because Prabhupada gives a very different interpretation to this verse. And Prabhupada starts this purport with the word buddhi yoga. We were talking yesterday, here's your answer, one of the quotation. Prabhupada says the word buddhi yoga is used. If you serve Krishna, Krishna will give you buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. Now Prabhupada translates buddhi yoga as, you can hear what Prabhupada translates. Buddhi yoga means intelligence in Krishna consciousness. No? Simple yoga means Krishna consciousness and buddhi means intelligence. But Prabhupada writes here, buddhi yoga means action in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada twists the whole story. Prabhupada twists this. Ideally, if you read any translation, every translator will translate buddhi yoga as intelligence in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada doesn't do that. Prabhupada says buddhi yoga is action in Krishna consciousness, and that is the highest intelligence. Prabhupada twists like that. And that's one of the quotation. Action is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is not that important. You have to serve Krishna. Ultimately, everything boils down to service. You may not be that intelligent, but real intelligence is service. That's all. People who served Prabhupada back in America, hippies, they were really intelligent. One of the devotees in Vrindavan, they went to Radharaman temple. In Vrindavan, they went there. So they happily came back to Prabhupada and they told Prabhupada, Radharaman Pujari, he blessed me. He blessed us. We get devotion. And you know about that? Prabhupada said, go back and tell them that if you are blessed, if you come in Krishna consciousness, if you are blessed by Krishna, you'll be born in America next life as a hippie, and you will take part in preaching movement. Seriously. And once I think some devotees came to meet Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada, devotees was talking about Brahmanas. So Prabhupada told them, see, you all hippies, you were Brahmanas in last life. That is why you got an opportunity to serve Krishna. Now you're Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas are upper Brahmanas, no? So, Vaishnavas means action. Brahmanas means knowledge. Every Vaishnava is a Brahman, but every Brahman is not a Vaishnava. That's what everything. Bhakti Santa is all about this. So, Buddhi Yoga, Prabhupada translates as action in Krishna consciousness. Real intelligence is to act and not to have inertia. Is to act for Krishna. That's important. You can read entire Bhagavad Gita. You can read entire Sanskrit. You can read all Shat Sandarbhas. You know, there's a books. Acharya. You can read all commentaries of Vishwanath, Baladev, Madhva, Ramanuja, Sri Bhashya, Anubhashya, everything you can read. But after reading all of those, you will have no idea how to distribute books. Seriously, you will have no idea how to do that. For that, you have to be on street to know how to do that. And I've seen many people there. They have no idea of preaching mission of Srila Prabhupada. No idea. So this is what is Buddhi Yoga. We need to act. By action, you learn, you get proper knowledge. That is why, there's a verse in Bhagavatam. What's that verse? Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janyate Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chatat Ahitukam. What's that verse? First canto, no?
Yeah, first 1 to 7.
1 to 7, yeah. Exactly. 1 to 7. So there Sukadeva Goswami says, Janyati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Chatat Ahitukam. Prabhupada writes in the purport, knowledge comes from renunciation. from Vairagya. First is Vairagya and then is Jnana. Knowledge comes from renunciation. And what is renunciation in Krishna consciousness? Renunciation in Krishna consciousness is renouncing your stupid desires and fulfilling desires of Krishna, service. So knowledge comes from service. That's another quote for you. It's all over in Prabhupada books. This is interesting, no? If anybody reads this translation, that's why, many of the Gaudiya Math people, they say that Prabhupada, although he wrote as it is, he's speculating. He didn't do as it is. Because you translate Buddhi Yoga as action in Krishna consciousness. What's this translation? Many scholars criticize Prabhupada. Academic scholars. Prabhupada has interpreted everything as devotion. Is it? It's like that? But it's not interpretation. It is realization. If you're realized, you can understand this is true knowledge. In fact, you know what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, a devotee ringing bell in the temple, he's far greater than those people who are meditating in Himalayas for thousands of years. He wrote this. A devotee sweeping the floor in the temple, he's far greater than those people who are scholars and who know so many Vedas and all those things. They're far greater. So that is Buddhi Yoga. So if you serve Krishna with determination, you preach, talk about Him, Krishna will give you satisfaction, pleasure and intelligence. Intelligence to actually serve Him. This is first thing. And the next, He'll give you two types of intelligence. First intelligence is to serve Him, to figure out what should I do for Krishna, how should I do. And in next paragraph, Prabhupada writes, he gives another type of intelligence. That is, Prabhupada says about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Krishna gives you intelligence how to save yourself from fruitive activities. How to save yourself from mental speculation. He'll give you intelligence for discrimination. Discriminating between what is sense gratification and what is service. What is mental speculation and what is truth. This Vivek he's giving you. Vivek. These two gifts. This morning we were talking about gifts. This gift of Krishna. Krishna will give you a gift if you serve Him. He'll give you discriminatory power and also He'll give you power to understand how to act for Krishna. And well, you may argue, I don't have such kind of blessings for Krishna. What should I do? I can't serve Him properly. I can't do things properly. What should I do? Krishna says, don't feel discouraged. No problem. And in the next verse, Krishna encourages his devotee. Krishna likes to encourage his devotees. Krishna likes to give special mercy to his devotees. It's unlike Krishna goes out of his way to help his devotees. You know why? Why is like that? God is going out of His way to help His devotees. Because devotees go out of their way to serve Krishna. Simple. Yathamam prabhadyante tam sathe bhajamyam. We are living our precious time, our families, our everything to serve Krishna. No, we're going out of the way. We are chanting on streets. Who is going to do that? It's not prestigious. It's not prestigious, but still we are doing that. If you go out of the way to serve Krishna, Krishna will go out of the way to serve you. Simple. If you spend 1 hour in Krishna service, Krishna will bless you for 1 hour. The rest of the time you are on your own. If you consider Krishna, if you consider Krishna to be in birth and death, Krishna will put you in birth and death. If you consider Krishna light, Krishna will make you light. Impersonal Brahmjyoti, will merge in impersonal Jyoti. If you consider Krishna as ordinary human, as matter, Krishna will make you born in matter. You will experience Krishna in matter as lust. So that's Krishna. Krishna is tit for tat. That's all. But Krishna goes out of the way. Krishna specially helps his devotees. And this verse, Prabhupada writes, Tesham satyuktanam bhastam tesham evanukampartham aham ajnanam jamtama nashyam yatma bhavasto jnana dipena bhashvata To show them special mercy dwelling in their hearts, destroy with shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So Krishna, you know what? The amount of work we are doing for Krishna, we are working hard to serve Krishna. Krishna is working more hard to serve us. Seriously. Krishna is working very hard to protect us from illusion. We feel we are sitting nicely, comfortably, but there's many things going in background. Just like in movie, Hollywood movie, you see 2 hours. It's so nice, entertaining. But you know, for making the 2 hours movie, so much millions of dollars and 2-3 years of hard work has gone. So we are sitting nicely, it's so comfortable, but Krishna is doing that hard work. Krishna has planned long back, 500 years back, as Lord Chaitanya. My planning is there. My devotees are going to come. Baldev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta, Prabhupada, they'll set all the scene and they'll sow the seed, make the tree, and what we are doing? We're sitting nicely and eating the fruit. He has made everything for us. So that's Krishna. That is special mercy of Krishna. We don't realize this. There's some invisible hand behind all our activities. That is Krishna there. Krishna, we think of Krishna 24 hours. Krishna will think of you as of 26, 28 hours. He will give you more than what you have dreamt of. Prabhupada says that when you serve Krishna 24 hours, then magic will begin. Prabhupada said, you'll experience magic. So what's that special mercy? Special mercy is, Prabhupada is writing that Krishna will give you, Krishna will light lamp of knowledge. And what is that lamp of knowledge? What is a lamp? What is a special mercy? After having special mercy, will you remember all 700 verses? No.
Intelligence, how to serve.
Yeah. That Krishna told, intelligence how to serve, and intelligence to know what is sense gratification and what is not sense gratification. This is very, very important, because even in Krishna consciousness, in name of service, we sometimes enjoy. It happens like that, no? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warns us in Chaitanya Charitamrita, don't be Dhey Arami. Dhey Arami means, don't, in the name of service, don't give comforts to yourself. Don't use Krishna for your sense gratification. So that he will give you laser pointed intelligence. This is sense gratification, this is service. And then you can happily serve Krishna. That is the lamp of knowledge He will light in your heart. And Prabhupada writes here in this purport, this is the essence teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. These 4 verses, the essence. Simple, no? Who is Krishna? What is His service? What are the effect of His service? How do we know that I am serving Krishna in the right mood or not? All these things Krishna is explaining in these 4 verses, but we will not be able to understand that until unless we read Prabhupada purports properly. So my aim of this lecture was to show you that when you read Gita, please read Prabhupada purports carefully. There are important points which Prabhupada is making in his purports, but you have to link it with a word meaning, and then we'll get proper insight. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Any questions, any comments, any suggestions, any criticism?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad this time I got to see you.
Yeah, same with me.
You were mentioning that we're not supposed to be attached, to results, and then at the same time we were talking about, but we should be attached because we want it for Krishna.
Yeah, for Krishna we should be.
The one danger, of course, there is that someone may do certain things with a utilitarian mindset that it's okay to do these things because I'm doing this for Krishna. But at the same time, the one sense the devotees have to remember that Krishna ultimately, He never needs anything. And that this actually, if you look at it from a very selfish platform, these things are for ourselves.
Yeah.
and they are for helping other living entities. And if we have that and we think, well, if I'm going to do this, and by doing this and compromising my principles and my ethics, I'm hurting myself and I'm hurting others, how can I say that is truly beneficial? You know, because someone may say, oh, because of this for Krishna, I'm going to cheat. Right?
Okay. Yeah,
this.
I got your point.
Yeah, but then they have to look and say, but Krishna doesn't need this. You need the service,
Yeah,
and
that's
you should
true.
conduct yourself properly.
And that's true. That is why, yeah, this is a good point. And that is why I think, that is why Prabhupada mentions in the case of Bharat Maharaj cheated himself. He thought he's a saint, he should help that deer, but he cheated himself. He got attached. He was thinking it's Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, the only problem with him was he didn't have association of devotees. So this kind of, we are all prone to these things. And that is why we need association of devotees. If we are not with devotees, we are definitely going to one day or other fall into this kind of trap.
And consider his platform. Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu told us that Bharat Maharaj was actually on the platform of Bhav. So he's on Bhav, and then even then. So, and interestingly, Prabhupada writes in that purport that unless you are liberated means you are out of this material world, not just Jivan Mukti. Till that time you need association of devotees, because you are always prone to fall down. And one of his lecture, that I heard that and I was shocked. Prabhupada said, Rupa Goswami somehow escaped from this material world. He uses escape for Rupa Goswami. We can't imagine to use such kind of word for Rupa Goswami. He escaped from this material world. But Prabhupada said, why? To make us understand that it's a dangerous place. We always need association of devotees. We are prone to cheat ourselves. We will cheat ourselves in the name of Krishna consciousness. So we have to be surrounded by senior devotees. Maybe not senior devotees. It's better to be surrounded by critics with bad devotees. It's good, because they are the people who are going to point out. You see, you're bad. Our friends are not going to point out. So it's good if we are. That's why I was telling in morning, it's good if there's politics in temple. We are safe, because every time we will have criticisms. You're doing this wrong. So we have to be very, very careful to do all those things. And that will save us. In one sense, in one aspect, it will save us. So I think that's the point you're making, and that's a solution. Don't leave devotees. Even if we feel we are safe. Actually, as soon as we feel we are safe, we are unsafe. We are unsafe. Because that sense of safety comes from illusion. Sense of fear comes from Krishna. Morning we were talking. Sense of fear. We have to fear illusion. From Maya we are nothing, no? I mean to say, how much experience we have in devotional life? 40 years, 50 years? Sannyasi for how much experience? 80 years? How much experience Maya has? Eternal. In front of her experience, she can trick us like that. You know, this Bhakti Santa Vaibhav? So Maharaj mentions that Bhakti Santa's right hand, Sundarananda Vidya Vinod, he was right hand of Bhakti Siddhanta. And he announced in a lecture that I challenge Maya. She can never take me away from Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta. And you know what happened with him? He was a person who rejected Bhakti Siddhanta, who challenged Maya. Never challenge Maya. She can take you for a trip. So better we should remain with devotee. That's the point. And it's a good point. It's a good point. We don't trust ourselves. Yeah.
How about this in relation to this answer, this question? Certain ages, different yugas were recommended process of meditation as a secluded place.
Meditation, yeah.
And by yourself. So I don't know when Bharat Maharaj,
Bharat Maharaj?
Yeah, what age?
I have no idea.
I mean, my point is that there are certain meditations that you don't require the association with the bodies, right? Like this meditation in a secluded place.
Secluded place doesn't mean you don't need association of devotees. It's not. Prabhupada says seclusion means like-minded people.
Yeah, even if you read in Ramayana, when Ram is going through the forest,
Yeah, all rishis, yeah.
they're all together.
All together.
And they're doing that.
Yeah, they're doing dhyana yoga and all that kind of stuff. So it's not, nobody's alone, never. Never alone. Because we can never be alone. There's always one person with us. Who is that? Our mind. We're never alone. Our stupid mind is there with us. Our enemy. Yeah, Dushtaman. Tumi Kishera Vaishnava. That's
Yeah, and in Ramayana, actually, the word that is used is Rishigana consistently. Every time Ram is moving through the forest, he called it Rishigana. Gana means like host.
Okay, yeah.
So Rishigana, the host of sages.
Okay. Yeah.
Even sometimes they would start following him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they're all together. They're never alone.
Never alone.
Question was,
Never alone.
Prabhupada
Never
was
Rishigana.
results. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Results oriented, and you said, and so like he wanted to see tangible
Results, yeah.
So a lot of times with, especially with book distribution, devotees sometimes develop ways that would disturb the public or would be cheating to increase the results.
Yeah.
So is that...
Well, Prabhupada said many times that distribute books by hook or crook. You have to get out books. That also he said. Yeah, he said just get out books. Many times I distribute books like that. I mean to say, if there's a boyfriend, girlfriend, how do you give them a book? You can't go in between them. They'll get annoyed. So I just go and I tell, I don't talk to the girl, I talk to the boy because... And I tell, if you read this book, your loving relationships will increase. You'll never leave each other. Okay, give me that book. And I give that book. Prabhupada said, ultimate purpose is to give that book. Somehow or the other, the book will work. So it's not bad actually. Oh, Prabhupada mentions one of the letter. Your question, answer to this question. What's that? Chanakya Pandit says, cheaters you can cheat. Yeah. Shalyatam, I think you might remember. Shathyam Shathyam Acharet. Prabhupada quotes there in the letter. Somebody asked this question, same question, book distribution. Prabhupada said, Shathyam Shathyam Acharet. Cheaters you can cheat. They are all cheaters. So you can cheat them and give your book and make them Krishna conscious. No problem. Just do it. Give them books. These materialist people, they are also cheating people, no? They are flooding so many books by cheating them. This book is so nice. Reviews are there and complete useless reviews here and there and people buy and read trash. So why can't we tell them, you do this? Once one person was asking book distribution, see, I have so many problems, electricity problem in my house and this, and you are asking me to read Gita. What is this? So I told, you read Gita, Krishna is talking about electricity in Gita. And a problem will be solved. He said, oh yeah, really? He took the book. He became a devotee actually afterwards. He became a devotee. It's not bad, no. It's not bad. Transcendental lie. Prabhupada said, it's not bad. Lie can be spoken, one condition more. Lies can be spoken. Just like we are speaking lies to go to Saudi Arab now. Visa. I spoke a lie. I didn't take a religious visa. Tourist visa. I told them I'm a medical practitioner. If I would have told I'm a devotee, no chance visa. But that's not adharma. You know what? I'll tell you one. In Bhagavatam, this Indra, this Prithu Maharaj, he was doing yagya. Prithu Maharaj. And he was supposed to do 100 yagyas. But then Indra wanted to stop him. There's a story. And then Indra came in form of various forms to cheat Prithu. So there in Bhagavatam, Indra quotes that to counter adharma, you can use adharma. You should not use dharma to counter adharma. You can use dharma, but dharma has to be engaged in service of Krishna. That's a good thing. If there's necessary to use adharma, you can use that. And Krishna told Karna. Karna's wheel got stuck, and then Karna told Krishna, hang on, I'm taking on my wheel. Krishna told, you fool, You are always devising so many cheating policies, and now you're advising me. He told Arjuna, shoot. Although this is not a religious principle, to shoot a person who is not on a chariot, and you're on chariot, shoot, because cheaters can be cheated. That's there. So we'll do that, no problem.
At the same time, Srila Prabhupada made it clear that you have to be able to be like a lotus that is there in the mud, but
Yeah.
it is not getting dirty.
Yeah, at the same time, yeah.
So it's a balance.
It's a balance, yeah. I think that's what Krishna is mentioning. Tesham evanu kampartham aham agajam jantama. If you serve Krishna, he'll give intelligence to balance. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember Prabhupada also says, be like a tiger outside and lamb
At the house.
at the house. So do cheating outside. And you come inside, there has to be, put a dustbin there. Keep all your, come here and I am a lamb.
Well, if
It's a
your
balance.
consciousness of why you're doing something,
Yeah, then
stays
yeah,
intact.
then it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
But if the
Absolutely.
consciousness is mixed,
Yeah.
then this is the problem.
Yeah, then it's a problem. Otherwise, it's relishable. To cheat cheaters, it's so nice. You feel so pleased, They have been cheating us all life, And you want to cheat them and bring them to Krishna. It's pleasurable. It's nice. Prabhupada used to do in discussions so many times. If you read conversations, lectures, Prabhupada used to say so many things and used to trick people into Krishna consciousness. There were so many discussions. Nice. Okay, yeah, Prabhu. They don't want to ask any question. They're listening seriously, all of them. Good boys, huh? You trained them like that, huh?
You were talking about at certain levels, people, like devotees, experience satisfaction and then pleasure for doing service. So, if someone is doing their service in order to receive pleasure.
In order to receive pleasure,
Yeah.
that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't
How
want
can we
any.
avoid that attitude?
No, you don't avoid. You get pleasure yourself, but don't be after pleasure. Be after giving pleasure to Krishna. Pleasure will come. There's a rule of this material world. Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhagavatam. If you are after something, you will never get it. The thing you want, you will never get. The thing you don't want will come to you forcefully. That's a rule. So, just like full-time devotees, we don't want respect, respect comes. And materialistic people, they want all respects, but nobody respects them. They crave for respect. So if you're after money, you'll not get money. If you're after Krishna, you'll get all the money. For Krishna, you can plan. That's the way. So if you want pleasure, you'll get frustrated. But if you want to give pleasure, and Prabhupada mentions in Nectar of Devotion, in 40th chapter, Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness means giving and not taking. Prabhupada says that we are not here to take from Krishna. That same mentality of taking. Outside we were taking, no? Take this, take that, take that. Here also, Krishna, please give me prasad. Krishna, please give me pleasure. Krishna, please give me things to stay. Krishna will say, come on, you want to give me or you want to take from me? So if you give him, he'll give you everything. So that's the point. Give pleasure. Actually, giving pleasure is more pleasurable. You see, it's if you cook food and if you eat yourself, you don't feel so nice. If you cook food and serve, and afterwards if food is finished, still you feel satisfied, no, by feeding Vaishnavas. It's like that. At least in India, these our grandmothers and entire day they were working and they were feeding children and entire family, and they didn't used to get food, but they used to be happy. So giving is more pleasurable. But the society is trained in some other way. They're bombarding you, take, and that is pleasure. No. There is no culture that Varnashram we are talking about. Varnashram is a culture of giving and not taking. Everybody is giving. Brahmana is giving knowledge. Kshatriya is giving his energy. Vaishya is giving his money. Shudra is giving his service. It's all giving. It's not taking.
Would
That's
it be easy
nice.
to get in the mindset that I'm giving because I get? Or like you find out that you get, so that's
No.
why I'm getting pleasure from this. So.
I'm giving to give. I'm giving that sacrifice.
Isn't it, because we've already talked about so many times now, that even if you have the perverted mindset, it's still better to act on the principle of giving than eventually the desire to give will come.
Well, what higher thing is there is when you sit and you contemplate how much has been given to you by sadhus.
Yeah, that's also one point, yeah.
Then you become so embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's like Dhruva Maharaj, when he came, he's thinking, I'm going to get from Krishna. I'm going to take from him. And then he looks and he's like, but what I was asking to take was just broken glass. And Krishna was actually giving me diamonds. And when we think what we're trying to take versus how much our Guru Maharaj has given us, how much the sadhus give us, we feel embarrassed that they've given me so much and I've given so little that we naturally out of our heart feel like I have to give. And tears will come into our eyes thinking that they've given me so much and all I've done is
Yeah,
take.
that's true, yeah. Well, I like to add one more point. Even if you want to take it to give it back. It's not bad to take. So just like just like girlfriend, boyfriends. So boyfriend will ask girlfriend, can you lend me some money? He wants money to take her for shopping. So she'll be happy to give her. So if you want to take pleasure, no problem. Take pleasure from Krishna, get enthusiasm from that pleasure, and give back Krishna double service. So take it to give double. Just like you take Ganges water to give her back. So it's always giving.
Prabhu,
Okay.
about this point, it seems that four kind of persons come in contact with Krishna consciousness, and all of them they want something.
Yeah.
I mean,
But they're not.
wanna give something.
But they're not pure devotees.
But then, at what point you say, all right, so now I am to the point where is this something natural that comes to you,
Yeah.
or is something that you wanna?
It doesn't come natural. It comes by hearing from devotees. You come, you hear from devotees, they explain, okay, God, now. Nothing is natural to us. For us, natural is lust. Nothing is natural. We are all nonsense people. For us, natural is enviousness, lust. All good things are given by devotees. It's not our. All bad things are ours. We are like that.
Well, and of that case, with the four devotees, the fourth
they
one,
know.
Prabhupada thinks
Jnani.
yeah, they're not coming to take actually. They're coming to find out about Krishna.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
that's-
makes them
yeah.
the best.
Yeah. So it's 3, not 4, yeah. Okay, so I think you got bored or what? It's a long lecture.
No. It's very nice.
So anyway, thank you for listening, all of you. My point is, please read Prabhupada books. I'm staying for 1 week here. And please read, because America or nowhere in ISKCON, people are not reading Prabhupada books. In fact, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he often harps on this point. And that's absolutely correct. It's not that we are speaking because he's speaking, but it is happening. People aren't reading Prabhupada books. And Prabhupada says, I am in my books. Prabhupada said. And that is what is 99% problem ISKCON is facing because of not reading Prabhupada books. So many weird ideas here and there. So please read those books. And if you read Prabhupada books, you will be so satisfied. There are gems in these books. We were talking, small books are not small. We were talking yesterday. They seem small, but they are not small. In fact, all elevation to Krishna consciousness, that one book.
I was listening.
Yeah, same. Everything is there. Everything from ABCD to XYZ. I'm surprised to read that book. So please read Prabhupada books. If you can do that, we'll be so happy. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Devotees ki jai.